Good afternoon and welcome to Solent Sports News. I'm Chloe Boyne and these are your sporting headlines. Firstly, we have some breaking news that Kobbie Mainoo has received his first senior call-up to the England squad. The Manchester United youngster was originally named on the England's under-21 team sheet, but will now join the Three Lions in their upcoming friendlies against Brazil and Belgium. The midfielder impressed in United's dramatic 4-3 FA Cup win over Liverpool at the weekend. Also in football today, the UK government are set to introduce a bill to change the sport forever. An independent football regulator will oversee the clubs in England's top 5 tiers when the football governance bill is passed. This follows a fan-led review that revealed that the new regulator will support financial stability and protect football heritage. Nottingham Forest have 7 days to appeal their 4-point deduction. The Premier League side have now dropped into the relegation zone after breaching financial fair play rules. The club have revealed that they're extremely disappointed and dismayed at the decision, with only 9 games remaining to save their top-tier status. Chelsea Women's Champions League dream continues this evening as the Blues face Ajax in the first leg of their quarter-final tie. With manager Emma Hayes set to depart at the end of the season, claiming the Champions League trophy remains her final target before joining the USA women's team as their new head coach. A big topic in women's football this week has been the controversial comments several WSL managers have made in regards to player-coach relationships. Chloe Jones headed to Test Park Ground to discuss more.
Captain, leader, goalkeeper, but only got one more game. Solent football third-team skipper Josh Burns is graduating at the end of the year and will be leaving some big gloves to fill on and off the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for 4 years now. I've played. And I've learned off
Sport
a lot
Fusion's
of
Caitlin
captains,
Kupal is joined by
lots of
Matt
different
Graves to
leadership.
tell us more.
They're coming to us now. I'm outside Solent Sports Complex on this grey and rainy day with Matthew Graves, who coaches for the Southampton Women's Sirens FC. So the big news in the Women's Championship is that Southampton women are in the race to be promoted to the Women's Super League. They currently sit third in the table behind Reading and Crystal Palace. This is the Saints' second season in the championship, so getting promoted at the end of their fixtures is huge for the team. If you were in the shoes of Southampton's women manager Marianne Spacey-Cale, what is the amount of pressure you would be feeling now, especially considering the expectations of the fans?
Yeah, I think I'd be feeling a lot of internal and external pressure. Obviously, Saints over the last few years have put a lot of kind of money and funding into it, so it's really, really important for themselves to try and build up through the leagues, which they've done really successfully all the way through the Hampshire County Leagues into where they are now. There's also, like I said, there's going to be a lot of expectation and pressure from fans as well, but it is obviously a hyper-competitive league, the Women's Championship, and, you know, personally, as a fan of women's football and being within it, I'm really looking forward to the battle at the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Saints faced Reading last Sunday, winning an astonishing 5-0 against their opposition, who got relegated last year from the Super League. What are your thoughts on them claiming victory over Reading, and do you think the Saints fans can get used to beating teams that have been or currently in the Super League?
Yeah, ultimately it was quite a dominant victory. I haven't seen the full game, I've seen the highlights, but yeah, Saints are just so clinical, and I think that's really what's kind of put them where they are. And fortunately for them, another result with London City Lionesses beating Sunderland, that's kind of opened up the top of the table again, even though there's kind of more teams in and around that. But yeah, I do think in the next few years you could see, you know, Saints beat more of those, you know, Super League or former Super League teams that are kind of in and around the bottom of that WSL, and it does make for really competitive fixtures, both in the Conti Cup, in the FA Cup, when they come up against these Super League teams, and, you know, potential teams that go up or down next year. It's always really good to see. It's good for the area, it's good for Southampton Football Club, and ultimately it's great for the progress of women's football in this area.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you, Matt, and back to you guys in the studio.
We're now going to hear from Sport Fusion's Chloe Jones after she visited Test Park.
Test Park Ground is where Solent women's football team train every Monday evening, rain or shine. This week, the talk amongst the girls was about issues off the pitch regarding romantic relationships between players and coaches. A situation experienced at all levels of the pyramid, not just the highest leagues.
So I've seen a few player-coach relationships, and I just think it's a bit weird because it's they're not even the best players, so they get played because they're with the manager sort of things.
This discussion has been highlighted by several WSL managers, including Emma Hayes, who said not only were player-coach relationships inappropriate, but also player-player relationships too.
The big craze in women's football at the moment is quite a harsh reality, when a lot of that is reality in their women's football team, and it's just most of the norm. But to be commenting stuff like that as the first team manager, it's not really approved on, I don't think.
In the FA Codes of Conduct, it states the coaches must develop an appropriate working relationship with each player. This then asks the question, what differentiates the environment within sport to a normal working environment?
Mostly agree with what they say about it, because football's not a business for us, but for them it is. It should strictly stay professional.
Another concern amongst the coaches is the media coverage of these relationships amongst teammates.
If things are broadcasted in the media, it can almost create a negative spin on things, and it will kind of negatively potentially impact on the kind of feeling around the group. Like if the players are having things reported about them, or coaches are having things reported about them, it can kind of cause unnecessary unrest, and it might impact on how sessions go or how games go. Like it might impact on their performances.
So, will this cast another negative cloud over women's football?
Local side Eastleigh are on the road this evening as they take on second place Barnet in the National League. The Spitfires are winless in 3 games after suffering a 4-1 defeat at the Silver Lake Stadium on the weekend. Striker Paul McCallum is also in the running for the league's Golden Boot, boasting an impressive 30 goals so far this season. At Solent University, the men's third-team skipper will be preparing for his final game of his university career. They will face bitter rivals Uni of Southampton tomorrow as they look to get their first away win of the season. FWC Squared visited their training session.
Captain, leader, goalkeeper, but only for one more game. Solent football third-team skipper Josh Burns is graduating at the end of the year and will be leaving some big gloves to fill on and off the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for 4 years now. I've played Solent football for 3, and I've learnt off a lot of captains, lots of different leadership styles as well. So the biggest thing for me was to, turn these young lads into men who are ready to continue on when I've obviously moved on.
Burns has been a brilliant goalkeeper for Solent, but an even better person to his teammates.
Keep control! Being a fresher, he's been really important to me. He's been getting everyone involved, and yeah, he's a huge part of the team, not just a great goalkeeper, but also a great leader.
Check that line, make sure he's together.
I mean, I played with Josh last season as well, been here with him for a while, and he's the same whether he's captain or not. It means a lot to him. He always, expects 100%, wants to give 100%.
The manager credits Burns' stint between the sticks, but he has eyes on a replacement keeper and potential captain for next season.
As far as looking for next season, there's another goalkeeper who's been with us, Matt McDonald-Lindsay, so he'll probably be a more than adequate replacement, but yeah, to replace Josh's character is going to be tough, but a testament to him.
Burns will wear the captain's armband for the last time this Wednesday, as his team face off in a local derby against Uni of Southampton. Solent currently sit third in the league, with their opposition down last in 6th. But Solent have not won away from home all season, so they will definitely have a strong desire to win this time. Celebrations will be in order if they win, but more importantly, a farewell to their captain, leader and goalkeeper, Josh Burns.
Thank you.
FWC Squared, Solent Sports News.
The Polygon's finest looked into how sports societies can create an enjoyable and competitive uni experience.
The Solent Ravens and the women's football team are 2 of the most successful sports teams here at Solent University. There are more than 30 sports teams at Solent for students to choose from, competitively or for the social aspect.
My favourite day of the week is always a Wednesday, game day and social after. Training's really good as well, it's really enjoyable, yeah. It does get very feisty and we're all very competitive, especially here at Solent. We're not the most likeable team in the league because of how competitive we all are, but yeah, it's definitely
fun.
This is my first year on the Ravens, and I'm on the jazz dance team, and I'm also on the game day cheerleading team. I think joining the Ravens has probably been the best choice I've made since coming to uni. I've gained so many friends through the Ravens. Some of my strongest friendships I've met through the Ravens. It's a big use of my time, but in like the best way possible. Like, I just get to spend a lot more time with my friends. Or we do have trainings at 9 AM on a Sunday though, which isn't quite as enjoyable.
Despite all the clubbing, despite all the parties, despite all the training, and despite all the glory, trouble still brews within societies for money and time.
We struggle to get spaces, as recently the sports complex made our old dance studios into sports therapy rooms, so we had nowhere to train, and then the sports complex allowed us to start training in the seminar room, which is better because there's more space, but a lot of the girls have gathered injuries from dancing on a carpet floor.
Started as the goalkeeper coach for the majority of the season. It was like partnering between being the goalkeeper coach and the assistant at the same time, and then the previous manager left the position and I took it on, and I brought a few coaches with me so that we've got some more expertise in lots of different areas. We've got more goalkeeper coaches now, we've got strength and conditioning coaches, and then we've got a good core team of us.
As the countdown to the Paris 2024 Olympics approaches, Britain will be without their most decorated female athlete. Dame Laura Kenny has announced her retirement from cycling just months before the Games. The Olympic star has won 5 gold medals and 7 world titles in her impressive career before leaving the international circuit. A fellow athlete preparing for the Paris 2024 Olympics is Nicole Jurgen. Despite a disappointing indoor season, the Scottish runner is fully focused on securing a place in the Team GB squad. The 26-year-old has won World, European and Commonwealth bronze medals in the 4x400 metre relay, with hopes of an Olympic medal just months away. And on the other side of the world, England women's cricket team have beaten New Zealand by 27 runs in their first T20 international of the series. Captain Heather Knight starred with that bat as she smashed 63 runs from 39 balls to propel her side to 160 for 4. A tight bowling performance kept the New Zealanders to 133 for 5 in response. Across the ocean to Australia, and their government have set out a statement to say they will not be sending a cricket squad to Afghanistan due to human rights issues. The Aussies were meant to tour the Taliban-ruled nation, but have decided not to due to the poor treatment of females in the country. The Afghanistan Cricket Board are yet to comment. In local MMA, Monique Edwards claimed the vacant LFC strawweight title in Kent last weekend. Edwards defeated a more experienced opponent in dominant style over 5 rounds as she looks to turn professional. Official Sports Hub found out more.
These are the moments Monique Edwards won her first amateur MMA title. Edwards claimed the victory in Kent on Saturday night in front of a crowd of over 1,000 spectators. The bout was only Edwards' second ever MMA contest, in comparison to her opponent Louise Bennett, who has 7 previous fights under her belt. Despite the gap in fighting experience, Edwards showed her class and dominated all 5 rounds to bring home the victory via unanimous decision.
I kind of went into it trying not to think about it as being like a very big deal, so the other end of it I've kind of just taken a deep breath and I'm half pretending it hasn't happened, to be honest. I started boxing first and then kickboxing, and then about 3 years ago I was living in Cyprus and the gym I went to was mainly an MMA gym, so I started doing MMA there. Decided that I really liked it, and then after coming home from Cyprus started doing jiu-jitsu. I knew that I wanted to fight on the card, and I think my coach was arranging the fight, and then the promoter, it's a promotion I've already fought on before, the promoter said that there could be a title opportunity. It would just depend if they could find someone with a good record for me to fight. I was 1 week into a shoulder injury, so at the point of taking the fight I had one arm. So I trained for 4 weeks up until the week before the fight with one arm.
Yes! Yes!
The other girl had a much better record than me, or a bigger record than me, so she was a lot more experienced, so I just didn't feel like I had anything to lose going into it, so it helped me stay pretty chilled. I was quite confident, but only really because I was getting told by my corners at the end of each round, like, you know, that round was yours, or, you know, you've done it now, just get to the end. So I just kind of, in my heart, was like, all right, I trust them.
Edward's aim is to get back into the octagon as soon as possible. She has already returned to the gym to sharpen her tools as she awaits news on her next challenge.
That's all for now. For more news, check out our website, solentsportsnews.com. Thank you and goodbye.